Hey, what's up? I think you're really going to enjoy this episode of the show today. I'm your host, Bruce Irving. We talk with entrepreneurs, marketing experts to help you grow your restaurant or pizzeria. Today on the show, I'm joined by Andy of SideWall Pizza Company. He's going to describe how he's gone from 0 restaurants in 2015 to opening his 4th restaurant in 2018. The things that he's used throughout his journey, very short journey that is, to grow his pizzeria. He's in South Carolina. He only has 4,500 people in his community, and he does a few things that you can take away after listening to this show and go implement in your business to help you grow and become part of your local community. A couple things mentioned on the show: his birthday program that he has available now, how he uses that to grow his email list to over 50,000 contacts, how he started a community fund to really solidify his business as part of the local community, how he does that, and how he donates a percentage of every check back to the community, and then how he set up an employee incentive program that was really creative to make them stay a little bit longer than they would have. Hey, listen, we're all having a hard time finding employees, right? That's the number one factor in the questions that we get asked on a daily basis. How do we build our team? How do we train them? And how do we find them? And how do we keep the good ones? So Andy explains how he does that. He has over 170 employees in only 2.5 years or 3.5 years, something like that. It's crazy. So listen to this episode. I think you're going to really enjoy it. You're going to be able to take a ton of information away and then go use it in your business. If you want more episodes like this, head over to smartpizzamarketing.com. We take all of the notes for you there. You can also like our YouTube channel, and we will see you on the other side of the show. Another great guest, Andy from SideWall Pizza Company, is joining me tonight. We're going to talk a little marketing, a little pizza, talk about what Andy's doing. Andy actually joined me on a podcast episode. I think it was episode number 143 a few months back. And he was doing some interesting thing in a small community. So I said, you know what, Andy, why don't you come on the show, join us, talk about what you're doing. And it's going to be a little bit of fun tonight. So thanks for joining us, Andy. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Welcome to the Smart Pizza Marketing Podcast Live.
Thanks for having me, Bruce. I appreciate it.
This is exciting, Andy. So episode number 143 of the show, you joined me, and I got a lot of emails about that show because you talked about something that you were doing. But let's refresh people's memories if they didn't listen to that show or they're joining us live here for the first time. Like, tell them, how did you get into what you're doing now with SideWall Pizza Company?
Sure. I'll give you the very short, abbreviated story. In 2011, I was living in Washington, D.C. I purchased the second oldest canoe manufacturing company, which is based out of Middle Tennessee. And I ran that company remotely for a couple of years. And then I had an opportunity to relocate the production facility for that canoe company. And I chose a small town outside of Greenville, South Carolina called Travelers Rest. It's a town of about 4,500 people in the downtown area, about 50,000 people in the greater Travelers Rest area. And we bought this rundown old tire shop to make our canoes in. I had an apprentice that moved to Tennessee to learn how to make boats for a year. He came back here and we bought this building and we started to renovate the building. And all of a sudden we realized it was going to be too small for us to make our canoes in. So in that meantime, we fell in love with the town. We got another building in the country, moved our canoe shop out there where we continue to make boats. And Lauren, who's my girlfriend, we were sitting on this building in the middle of this town that we knew nobody, and decided after about 3 months of walking in there every day saying, what are we going to do with it?
It's refreshing my memory now hearing your story.
We said, let's try to make some pizza. We love pizza. We traveled the country and would always go to pizza places, and you know, everybody loves pizza, and figured it'd be a good entrepreneurial challenge in our life. And so we learned how to make pizza. We converted an empty, old, tired, rundown tire shop into what is now a full-service 60-seat restaurant, and that was our first go at working in a restaurant at all in our lives. So it's been a fun and exciting challenge.
That's amazing. So your first restaurant was a pizzeria. You had no restaurant experience, and you said, "Hey, how did you learn how did you learn what you needed to do in order to open it?"
Yeah, at the time, when we sold our house in DC, we bought a 23-foot Airstream trailer, and we were living in our Airstream trailer, and we had it parked outside of the building, and that's where we lived while we were renovating the shop for getting ready for the canoes. Once we moved the canoe shop, we still lived in the parking lot, which is now our restaurant parking lot, and we learned how to make pizza inside of our Airstream. We made dough in there every night.
That's crazy.
And one day we finally got an oven and we moved it into the kitchen that wasn't really built yet, but we had an area where we were going to make pizza. And we just built this restaurant off of our mind and out of an idea that we had literally when we were living right outside the doors of the restaurant in our trailer.
Did you live outside the restaurant even when you opened?
The city allowed us to live there because we were the construction managers for the building. But once we opened, we couldn't have our trailer parked out.
Okay. So did you have to like park it in the back?
we had to move it down the road to a place that wasn't part of our business, but able to live in the parking lot for a year. It was
That's
fun.
awesome. So what was that first? So you opened up. What was it like the first couple months or year you had that open?
Super fun. So it's a small town, and when we were living here, we got a chance to meet a lot of people who would come try to still get their tires changed in tires just anymore. And we just really embedded ourselves into the community. We knew we were going to do something in the community, so we joined the chamber, just met lots of people, made friends with folks in the area, and people knew this was coming. It wasn't hidden from anybody. And
right.
Once we opened, I mean, the community support was overwhelming. We've been busy since day one.
Is it the area where your shop is? Is it a heavily trafficked area? Like, do people drive by it a lot so they could see what you were doing ahead of time?
It's the main street in the town. This is not a super big town, but it's not like driving down the interstate or anything. This is
how I came across you, right? Is my wife's family lives in Greenville. Actually, they live somewhere else, not in Greenville. They have like two houses. One's a little bit further away, more towards Tennessee, and then they have a house in Greenville. And he found out I do this, and he's like, the dad. So my wife's cousin's father-in-law said, hey, you got to check out this company, SideWall Pizza Company. If you interview people, you got to check them out. And he handed me a newspaper, and you were in the newspaper for, I think you have some sort of community fund or something that you do as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how he's like, you got to talk to this guy. He has 3 restaurants, and he's doing some good things in the community. I think you should check him out. And I checked you out online. I said, you know what, that's great. It's a great referral. I got to check out what Andy's doing. So I looked you up, and talk about your community fund that you have going, because I think that's part of your marketing plan, is to not only get your name out there in a different or a variety of ways, but it's also to be part of the community. I think the community fund that you have is pretty unique and fun.
Absolutely. So since day one, we knew that there was 3 things that we wanted to have when we opened the restaurant, knowing that we had never worked in a restaurant. We wanted to have an awesome place for people to come work. We knew this was going to be people's first job, second job, putting themselves through school, or maybe just a career after college. And we wanted to be able to provide an awesome environment. We were told by everybody we knew, do not open a restaurant. Do it. You will never survive. The employees will eat you alive. And we thought that we had a good backbone and a good managerial model to circumvent that challenge. We wanted to also provide an awesome guest experience for our customers. So we've been to lots of restaurants, like all of us, and we knew what was good, we knew what was bad. We wanted to provide a place that people loved coming to because they had a great time, got great service, got great food. And more importantly, we wanted to be able to really embed ourselves into the community and not just be a restaurant, but really be part of what's happening in the community. So we use our restaurant for lots of fundraisers like a lot of restaurants do, but we have something called the Community Fund, which a portion of every purchase goes into our community fund that Lauren and I set up, and we give that money back to the community for certain events that might happen. So for instance, somebody's house burned down about 1.5 years ago. We were able to use part of the community fund to get them back on the street with furniture or hotel or however they use the money that we gave them. Schools need money, backpacks. We fill about 500 backpacks a year with school supplies and distribute those backpacks into the community. So it's just a fund that we set up that we use a portion of every proceed that comes in and set it aside for this little bank in case something happens or we need to use it for the community.
That's amazing. Do people donate to that, or is it just, you know what, you can't donate, it's just part of your bill that when you come in and visit us, we just set aside a portion of that?
Yeah, people will donate to an event that we do. They might call up and say, hey, I see you guys are raising money for XYZ. I want to donate $100, and we'll take their money right over the phone for that.
And then that goes into that fund.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. That's amazing. How is that hard to set up, or is it pretty easy, or is it, if anybody's watching this, if they wanted to set one up for themselves in their own community, how did you go about that?
We just set up an extra, we just set aside the money in our bank account, and we're not an official nonprofit, so we're not a true foundation. It's just a line item that we set aside money to, and as time goes on, we do want to set up, an official foundation where people can donate to as a tax write-off, and we can use it as a 501c3. But at this time,
it's just a donation thing for you. It's just something that you want to do and you want to be part of the community. So instead of being surprised or asked 1,000 times, you know that, we're just going to set a portion of sales to help the community out on every sale.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we still do fundraisers where we give money back to that organization based on the revenue that they drive in for that day. But the community fund is really set up for kind of on-demand events that happen in people's lives that there's nowhere to go for money, and we're there to help out.
Nice. So you're opening your 4th location this year, right?
Yeah, number 4. And
now, is that person that said you're crazy for opening? How do they feel about that?
It was everybody. So
they all look for you now and say, "Oh, Andy, I'm sorry. Can I come in for some pizza?"
Yeah.
You're like, it's double price now.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, I think most people will tell you do not open a restaurant. Many people, I think, own restaurants, grew up in the business, and it's become part of their family. But us coming at it from left field, it was just I think that was an obvious answer to say, and I can understand why they said it.
I think you're an anomaly for sure, right? You're a unique guy. And do you have an entrepreneurial mindset where you grew up and you sold things on the side, or you can learn to like tinker and put things together, whether that be online or off, and figure it out? Yes. Is that part of your personality?
It is.
Yeah, because I think you're an anomaly. I think, and I talked to Tony Gimignani, who owns like 20 restaurants in the West Coast, and obviously, if you're in the pizza industry, you know him.
Yep.
And we did a whole podcast episode because I get a lot of emails from people who are maybe plumbers or attorneys or, some other.
Don't get in the restaurant business.
Yeah, well, it's not that I tell them not to get into the restaurant business, but what we say is like, have you ever worked in the restaurant business? It's different to be an attorney or a plumber and love pizza and then be like, I want to open a pizzeria because it looks fun. Like, go work in one for a few months because it may be something you hate.
Yeah.
But if you're an entrepreneur like yourself, you take a different, you look at it from a different angle, I think, than they would.
Yeah, we saw a big opportunity, but we knew that we knew nothing. So we worked every job in that restaurant for a year and a half straight, from washing dishes, making food, ordering food, hostess, taking tables, tending bar. We did everything in the restaurant. And I will say that I've embarrassingly have yet to ever make a pizza that has made it to a table.
On purpose, or why is that? You're just not good at it?
I could make an awesome calzone once I try to make the pizza, and it does not come out circle. So I just fold it over and then I eat it myself. But I cannot throw a dough for the life of me. That's not my.
So did you have to hire somebody that was good at that?
Yeah, we just learned that was not something that we could do. So that was just one of the pieces of help that we had hired on when we first started. I think we had maybe like 12 people on payroll the day we opened, so we were somewhat staffed for day one.
So who was making pizzas day one?
A woman named Rachel, who had grown up making pizzas down in South Carolina and near the coast, and she could throw the dough.
That's awesome. And then for training purposes, when new employees come in, there's just like they kind of train with whoever's there working now, or you have general managers for each location, I'm assuming now?
Everybody went to Rachel school, we called it. So they could not throw dough until they went to Rachel school, and she certified their pizza. But not everybody in our company throws dough. It's that's a pretty important piece. So you gotta go through the ringer to.
So Rachel must have came to you like week 4 after you open. She sees you're real busy. It's Friday at 4 o'clock. She's like, "Listen, I'm due for a raise," and you got nobody.
Yeah, her biceps are like this.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. That's cool. So that's cool because I think a lot of people. So you look at your marketing too, then, as a way to like, listen, I need to get people in the door. Let me figure out something because there's possibilities out there, and it's my job as the business owner to maybe not physically make the pizza, but at least learn how to hire people and put people in the right spot, or figure out opportunities or tools or technology that we need to put together to make a successful business.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What else are you doing?
If there was not pizzas being made, nobody had jobs.
Right.
So we knew that we needed to make sure that there was pizzas being made every single night. So we would do lots of direct mail, lots of Facebook, lots of Instagram. The birthday club is one thing that we do pretty heavily.
Now, when did you open actually? How long? So you say Facebook, Instagram, but did you do that in the beginning?
Yes. So we opened January 2015 we just hit our 3-year anniversary with our first store.
So you're like not even talking yet in business years. You're still a toddler.
We consider ourselves a startup still. I mean, we're still learning every day. And
that's great though. Like it's to have four locations now and only being open for 3 years is kind of amazing. So let's go back. How did you recognize that you needed to do Facebook and Instagram? Was it just you use those platforms yourself, or you were trying to look for cheaper alternatives to direct mail or things like that to get your name out?
We knew that social media was huge, has a huge impact on people's daily life, and we wanted to be a part of that. So we knew it was going to be difficult to talk about pizza every single day on social media. Today is this pizza. Today is this pizza. So we knew we wanted to make ice cream, and our recipe or our menu is very, very simple. We do breadsticks, salads, pizza, and homemade ice cream.
I love it.
Yeah. So we do a flavor of the day ice cream every single day. And that's what we use as our hook on social media. So we post the flavor of the day ice cream, so people know what to expect that day when they come in. Very rarely do we talk about pizza on social media.
Huh. That's interesting.
We use the ice cream as every day something's new, and people wait for that feed to come through. And if we don't send it out in time, people call the restaurant wanting to know what the flavor of the day is. So it's something that we really train people on. And if we meet somebody at the store or meet somebody at a party, the guy always says, "My wife is on your Instagram feed, and she cannot wait for your ice cream and the flavor of the day to come through." And that's just like a talking point as part of our business. So people are pumped about it.
Now, is it a different flavor every day, or are you on like a cycle of 30 flavors?
No, it's a different flavor every day. And I think we have about 200 in the can that we've come up with. So we, might do key lime pie today, but we also might run it August 9th, 2018.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't know, nobody knows what the ice cream of the day is until they check your social.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it a pain in the butt to do all those different types of ice cream?
We have someone that her full-time job is to come in and make gallons of ice cream every single day.
Wow. And each location makes their own ice cream, or do you make it in one and ship them?
All of our locations make their own food. The ice cream is something that we have centralized and distribute throughout our stores.
Excellent. So which one do you find more traction on, Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram, just because I think it's more of a happy place. You kind of go off in one direction, and
you get like scroll. You just like all of a sudden you get in the scroll and you just can't stop scrolling. Is that what you mean? Like you just put a smile on your face from all the photos you see?
I mean, people are psyched to see. They're psyched to see photos. They're pumped up. Very rarely do you get criticism on Instagram. Facebook just goes off in a different direction for folks for some reason.
You're right. Sometimes Facebook / Yelp is like kind of the same thing.
Plus the algorithm with Facebook, and we still pay to boost our ads, and we only are shown to a very small number of people. Instagram, there's no filter on that, and it's just people love it.
How has that changed? Have you seen now? Obviously, since you opened, I mean, you've only been open since 2015, so it's not like you were in Facebook in 2010 when like 100% of your fans saw your post. Right. So you were kind of already in that mix of, if you out of 100%, you probably started Facebook and 50% of the people saw your post, right?
Yeah, I mean now it's
zero almost.
Zero. You pay for it, it still seems like it's zero.
Yeah, it's not that many. Now, have you seen a change in Instagram recently, or has that kind of continued to be the same?
I think it's, we measure things based on likes. I don't think we can know what the reach is, but based on likes, it's pretty consistent with as a percentage based on our viewership going up. So I think it's still positive for us.
And you're really good. How do you take the photos of your ice cream? Do you just take it with your iPhone?
We have a woman that used to make ice cream for us as a helper, and she went to nursing school, but she comes by a couple times a week and shoots photos for us. So they're definitely better than what I could do on my iPhone. But they're not. It's like a Canon camera or something like that. I'm sorry. Is it like a Canon or a Sony camera? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then, do you post at the same exact time, same hashtag, same everything every day? we post right before lunch, so sometimes it might be 10, 10:30, 9 o'clock, depending if we have something going on at 10 or 10:30. But it's always in the morning.
Yeah. So you've trained, like you've done a good job of training your customers to expect this post at this time with this content.
Yeah.
And people who are interested in that just keep coming back over and over and over again.
Yeah. They want to know
great.
what the day is.
Did you ever get someone going to your Instagram feed and says SideWall Pizza Company and it's all ice cream and they're like, what the heck is this?
Absolutely.
Do they DM you then, or how does that work?
I think we just take it on the chin and say, you should come try our pizza. It's delicious, but we like to talk about our ice cream as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what are you doing with so let's talk about this birthday program, because this is another thing that we talked about on the podcast that from the outside looking in, and I've actually used it with a couple of our clients because you've made it available now. And you reached out to me and said, hey, I want to try this birthday program. We talked about it on the podcast. It's been working really, really well for me. Mm-hmm. Let's try it with a couple of your clients. We've implemented that over the last couple of weeks, and it's really done a fantastic job of growing their contacts and email list. So talk about how you started that, because it's unique, and how you promote that.
From a marketing perspective, we know it's super important to build a list, whether you're building a mailing list of people's addresses or building a email list. We know it's super important to have that. So when we want to invite somebody into our restaurant, the only way we can do that is to mail them something or to email them something. We want to invite as many people as possible, so we needed to come up with a way that was going to allow ourselves to build a massive contact list. And we thought that giving away a free pizza on somebody's birthday would allow us to do that. And we've done this since day one. We went through version 1 of what we do now, and about a year and 2 months ago, we kicked off version 2, which has been a phenomenal growth pattern for our business.
Yeah. So it's set up like someone comes in, they can, because it's a little bit sophisticated.
The first time we did it, we had a slip that we give with each check. People write down their information on a slip. We had on our staff who would try to read that information, which is near impossible, input it into our computer, and then every day we would get a notification that says, here are the birthdays that are coming up in 14 days from now. And then we would literally mail them a birthday card in the mail.
So a physical card.
Yep. So somebody had to translate that information from the paper to the computer, and then when it was time for your birthday, somebody would handwrite a card and then handwrite the address on the envelope and mail out the card along with a certificate for a free pizza.
And how long did you do that for before you're like, this is crazy?
We did that until somebody's hand fell off, and that was probably about a year and a half. It's torturous.
Yeah. What are you offering for your birthday pizza? Someone asked.
We offer a 14-inch pizza. That's our pizza is 14-inch.
Is that the largest size you have, or just one size?
Yeah. One location, we have an 11-inch pizza that we used to offer for our birthday club, and it's not on the menu, but people know we have that 11-inch, so we have it at one location. But our birthday pizza and our only pizza in the other stores is 14-inch.
That's amazing. I love your menu. If I was going to work in a restaurant or own a restaurant, I would want a menu like yours. I think it's so simple.
Yeah.
So so now obviously you don't write it down now and mail out birthday cards, because I know that because we talked before. So explain to people what you do now.
It's all automated now. So what we do is we have a link on our website that people can sign up for the birthday club, and they give us their name, address, birthday, and then they can also add on other folks in their household onto that account as well. And then 14 days prior to their birthday, we send them an email with a code, just a 6-digit number that they bring into the restaurant. And that means that they have a free pizza, and our server takes that code and gives it to the manager, and the manager logs it into our system, and then a whole series of actions happen on the back end once that happens. But that's the gist. Customer
it's a unique code though, not just like a regular.
Yeah, it's a unique code. Yeah, specific to that person. So if you were to come in and spend $82 on your ticket, that is logged into our system. So we know that you came in today and you sat at table 5 and your check number was 121 and you spent $85 with us. We know that. So now we have a database of all these people that are spending money with us in our restaurant.
That's awesome. How did you come up with that system?
It was super important for us to know not only who's in the birthday club, but who's coming into our restaurant. So we just wanted to be able to log that information. It's super easy. It takes about maybe 5 seconds to make that happen.
Are you a coder, or is this another one of, hey, Andy's got to find somebody to do a specific job, let me go look for someone?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, I think that you need to know a little bit about that. Otherwise, you kind of get taken advantage of if you have a coder do it, because they're like, yeah, it's 20 grand.
Yeah. No, I mean, I knew exactly what it was that we wanted. We mapped it out and we navigated through this, and it's phenomenal for our business.
So how many contacts or emails have you received since you've only been open since 2015? It's not like you've been open for 20 years. How many contacts you have along from this birthday program alone?
Since we've launched version 2 of our system, I just checked before the call, we're at just over 41,000 contacts in our.
That's amazing. And how so they get an email for their birthday in a sequence either before or after, depending on whether they use that coupon or not.
Yeah. So you sign up, you get a welcome email directly from us, whether your birthday is in July or tomorrow.
Okay.
You get a nice not handwritten, but nice email with no flashy graphics or pictures. Just a nice email from us that says, hey, thanks for signing up for our birthday. And then 14 days prior to your birthday, we send you another email that's super personal, just like you and I talking right now. Happy birthday, here's your code, bring it into the restaurant. It's available for dine-in only. That's the restriction that we have on this. We don't want people to take out. We want people to come in and experience our restaurant and our service and just the whole atmosphere. So it's dine-in only. And then it's got an expiration date on it. If they don't come in by the time it's been expired, our system knows that because the code hasn't been redeemed in our system yet. So we send them an extension, say, hey, Bruce, you're probably super busy, but you didn't come in for your free birthday pizza by February 5th. I'm going to extend this another 8 days. Here's your new expiration date. Here's the code. I hope to see you soon.
Right.
They write me back and say, oh, wow, I was so busy. My aunt was in the hospital. I can't wait. I'm going to come tonight. And
so you're doing two things. You're being personal. Yep. You're giving them a reminder, but you're also starting a conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is smart.
Then they come in, they redeem the coupon, and then the next day our system knows that that person used the coupon the day before. So I send them an email automatically from our system that thanks them for coming in. I appreciate the business. Here's my cell phone number. If you have any questions or comments or feedback about your experience, I'd love to hear about it. And then they send me emails saying, I came in last night. I had the hot Hawaiian pizza. It was awesome. We celebrated my son Jacob's 5th birthday. He had an awesome time. Thank you so much. And those emails just come in every single day.
It's funny you say that because you've recently made this available to the public, right?
Yep.
It wasn't like your initial thought, but you're like, hey, maybe everybody else could use this. And you're right, because I got a lot of emails about this. So actually, if you're watching this, there's a link in the comments. It's just smartpizzamarketing.com/birthday. If you want to go there, just put your name, your email address, and your website, and then we'll pass that along to Andy, and he can give you some information on if you want to get a demo or see it kind of in action. Maybe he can send you the email sequence or something like that. I lost my train of thought, but I think I was going to say is, what made you decide to make this available to everybody?
I think it's an awesome service, and I'm not afraid to compete with the guy down the road. And if he wants to use what I'm using, I think it's great. Most people don't think outside the box like this. So I know I struggled a lot with our birthday club program, and now it's so dialed in. It's amazing. And there's people around the country that want to use this.
We started, you let one of our clients have it, let you just kind of test it out beta. And, I literally get an email from them or a text message with a screenshot of an email at least three times a week from exactly what you're saying. A customer so we run Facebook ads for them of people whose birthdays are coming up. Says, hey, you want a free birthday pizza? Go sign up here. Links them to the page. So sometimes they're getting customers in the door who never have visited their shop. And this is incentivizing them to come in for a free birthday pizza. And she sends me a couple screenshots a week of customers that say, listen, I tried your pizza out for the first time. I'm hooked. I'm going to definitely be a customer.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And it's cool because I think that it does another thing. Not that you want to make a false first impression, but if someone comes in and says it's their birthday and they have this code and they've never been there, it kind of alerts you to say, hey, listen, let's put our best foot forward here and make sure that everything goes perfectly, which sometimes you don't get if it's a new customer who just randomly comes in off the street.
Yeah. We do secret shoppers in our restaurants all the time, so our staff is always on code orange to know that they're maybe a secret shopper in the restaurant. But when somebody comes in with the birthday code, that's an automatic secret shopper right there, because the staff knows that they're going to get an email from me tomorrow saying, how was your experience? So it's like secret shopper and customer retention, customer marketing tool all in one.
So if you get a couple a day, you're like, you know what? I know I have a couple people going in there a day that are going to get an email from me at some point the next day, and I should hear at least back from one of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all. How often are you, so you're obviously collecting all their data. How often are you using that data not for the birthday? So if someone signs up for the birthday, how often are you sending emails throughout the course of the year?
We're really trying to fine tune our voice with that. We don't want to start hammering people. So we're working on just a messaging idea that we want to have that's not coming off as salesy. So our intent is going to be about maybe once every 2 weeks to tell a story. And that's, we've always been effective is by telling stories, not by sharing a price, but it's by telling a story.
And do you offer any discounts other than the birthday pizza on your business?
If we do offers in the community, so we do a radio ad that has been wildly successful, and that was a buy one pizza, get one free. That's really the only offer that we do is a buy one, get one in certain publications around town. But we're not a coupon heavy organization, but we do a buy one, get one.
And the birthday one, obviously, which is a free one.
Yeah.
And so how are you now? I'm sure that the message of you having a birthday pizza has grown now because people know about it. What were you doing in the beginning? Were you running Facebook advertising in 2015 to get people's attention?
No.
When did you start doing that?
It was simply, here's your check, and we have a birthday club if you'd like to fill out.
Got it.
Legible handwriting. We'd love to.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Birthday club if we can.
Yeah, you couldn't run Facebook ads to the handwritten note. That would be hard.
No. For now, we run Facebook ads, just like you had said, with based on people's upcoming birthdays. And we have a video out there of Lauren and I talking about the program. That is our ad, is inviting people to join the program.
Now, I know with Facebook ads, did you just have it set for a certain dollar a day?
Yeah.
Or like a lifetime budget?
We just have the same ads been running for, I think, almost a year.
And it just continuously runs every day?
Every day.
And so that thing must have like 4,000 likes on it.
It's got a lot. I think it's got over 100,000 views on the video.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
And do you think that's the number one factor? Like, what is the biggest, obviously, like your menu is sleek and easy to prepare. You do have the community fund. Is there any one thing that's, propelled you along the way?
I think it's a combination of always running, always doing something. I mean, if I looked at what we did last month in terms of outward promotion, it's a lot of things, and they all bring in different chunks.
Right.
And it's just, our goal has always just been never stop.
What do you see coming in the future? Like, what do you see coming next?
People are talking about bots. I think bots are a good thing. People will talk about text messaging. I get it. We don't do delivery. So Grubhub is coming to town and other third-party services. I think that's going to be big, but that's not something that we're set up for based on their restrictions and timeframes they have to have. And I think the idea is just to keep busting it, keep going every single day, doing something. What are your thoughts?
I like bots, Facebook bots. I'm not a huge text messaging guy. What are your thoughts on text messaging? I hate the word bots. I wish they would call it something else.
I think it's great. I don't know if it's going to continue or if it's just a fad or if it's going to get cluttered at some point, which I'm sure it will be, but no one's doing it, relatively speaking.
No, I actually just put a post. So we have a Facebook group, Marketing for Restaurants, and it's very, I curate the people who are in that group very much because there's a lot of people out there who take like a Tai Lopez course and then want to sell marketing to restaurants.
Right.
So I try to look at what groups. So if someone applies to be in that Facebook group, I look at what other groups they're involved in, and if Tai Lopez is one of them, you're immediately declined. But I put something in that group. So if anybody's watching this or they want to go join that group, just type Marketing for Restaurants. It's a Facebook group for marketing ideas for restaurant owners. And I put something in there because we are using messenger bots for our clients. And I put a post in there, and it's like 5 different posts. And the engagement that you get with these is amazing. Like we'll send out 300 messages. We'll get a 98% open rate and a 57% click-through rate, which is like crazy.
Yeah.
It's like email and when you had AOL.
Right. What I want to know when we do a promotion is how much did my register ring from that?
Right. Right.
I don't care if I mailed out 20,000 postcards or 2 postcards. I want to know how much money did that bring in. So everything we do is trackable. So we can say that was good, that was bad, that could be better.
Right.
Just keep
That's smart.
Yeah.
You need to track it though. Like you really do need to track what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just throwing shit at the wall.
How do you know if it works?
Right. Because if you do, especially if you're doing 17 different things, if you're doing 17 different things and it's just busy, like you never really know what's the cup. Because there's always the 80-20 principle. There's always 20% of those things that are working more than the 80.
Yeah.
And you got to figure that out.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So Facebook ads, do you run any other Facebook ads other than that birthday one, or is that it?
That's it. And we boost all of our daily posts.
That's awesome. What about employees? Is it hard to find employees in a town of 4,500 people?
We've been very fortunate with the staff that we've hired. We went from 12 people. Now we have 170 people that work for us in our organization. We have a great employee.
Wait, you have 170 employees?
Yes.
That's amazing. Good for you.
170. We have a great employee referral program. We recently set up a scholarship fund for kids or adults that have worked for us for a year. They're eligible to receive $1,500 from us to go towards continuing education. So that's been a great recruitment tool to get people to stay at our organization and continue to work for us. Maybe if they're going to be a senior in school and they thought about not working for us because they wanted their senior year off, this program is incentivizing people to stick around because they're going to get $1,500 from us for this scholarship they can use towards books or tuition or living fees. So that's been a great program that we set up about 6 months ago.
That's amazing. What made you have that idea?
How do we keep employees, right? How do we recruit people and how do we keep people? Those are just as much as how many pizzas are we going to sell. We got to make people happy. We want our staff to come to work fired up every single day.
I think on last Tuesday's show, I talked to Justin, who has Famosa Pizza in Canada, and they have 30 locations. And we were talking about this same very thing. Like your product, obviously, your marketing gets them in the door, right? You could have the best marketing in the world, but if your employees are not happy working for you and the environment stinks and your product is bad, they're never coming back.
Yep.
So those two things, the product and your environment, how you treat your customers and how you treat your employees, and your product are like the two most important things. The marketing just gets them to try you, right? And then if those other two things are really, really good and you do a good job at that, that's what gets them to come back over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it sounds like you're doing a great job of that.
They got to be happy to work because if they're not happy, what's going to happen?
They're going to take it out on your customers, right?
Yeah.
Or quit, and then you're going to be stuck.
Yeah, they're going to start making 6-inch pizzas instead of 14-inch pizzas. And it's not going to be pretty. And
you're very vulnerable because you don't know how to make pizza, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so you got to make sure that they're happy.
His own house. That's it.
That's awesome. Andy, I told you a half hour, we're a little bit over that. So where can people go kind of check out what you're doing on Instagram and Facebook or your website, wherever they want to go?
Our Instagram and Facebook is at SideWall Pizza. Our website is sidewallpizza.com. And I think if you want to share that opportunity learn more about the birthday club, I don't have that link.
Right there. smartpizzamarketing.com/birthday. If you want to, guys, I actually embedded this video on our website, so you can kind of rewatch this video where Andy talked about how that works. And then there'll be a name, email, website, and a couple sentences you can add in there. And then I'll forward that to Andy, and he can either follow up with an email or give you a demo or shoot you how the program works if you want to get some more information on that. But I will vouch for it because I don't vouch for a ton of products on this show. But I like to find products that are reasonably priced and can really help the operator in their business. And I think that this is really one of them because I got a lot of questions about this. So I think if you're going to sign up with Andy, if you're going to go get some more information, even if you don't sign up, go check it out. Maybe he can give you a couple tips on how you can either go do something in your own business, even if you don't hire him to do it for you. So smartpizzamarketing.com/birthday is the link for that.
What do you think the next thing is?
For marketing?
Yeah.
I think if you can use bots right now for the next, I bet you, I think you got 3 to 6 months to hop on that opportunity. It's going to be what Facebook advertising was in 2010 through 2013 and what email was in the early 2000s. I think in 6 months, it's going to be very, very noisy and it won't be as effective. I bet you if you look in your, just for instance, if you open up Facebook Messenger right now, you'll probably see an ad in there, whereas 2 weeks ago you didn't. So there are already people advertising who you didn't message. They're just getting advertising space in Messenger. Right. So I think it's going to be noisy. I think it'll work 6 to 12 months from now, but I don't think you're going to get 90% open rates or 50% click-through rates. It'll be like email. Yeah.
What about TV? You know people that are doing TV?
I know a couple people who do local TV, but it's expensive. The only way I would suggest you do TV or radio is like bartering, right? Do you barter for your radio?
Mm-mm.
You just pay?
I pay.
You should barter, man. You have a commodity that people love, food.
I think we got a good rate and it was worth it and it worked out. So
yeah.
I
always tell people, like, you got to go where it depends on where you live too, right? Like if you live in a college town, Snapchat is probably going to be good for you. If you live in a town with elderly folks, Snapchat is going to be a waste of time. I think that's the same thing. Like if you live in a town where the people are older, TV probably will be good for you. But if you live in a town that's college town, they probably don't even have cable because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
So you got to go the internet route. Like Instagram and Snapchat for the younger demo is perfect.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
But I think bots are coming. I'm not a huge text message guy. I don't like it myself, so we don't do that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like levels of intimacy with marketing, right? Like a Facebook ad is like, you know what? I can just scroll right by it. An email is like really low intimacy. Like I don't have to read it or it's not really invasive.
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger is like a next step up. It's a little bit more invasive, but I can still kind of ignore it. And like a text message is like set for like my friends and family. Like I don't want to get a text from a business.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to get a text from like my wife or my kids or my friends or anybody that I've talked to in the past. That's kind of who I want to set the text messaging for.
Yeah. I agree. This has been awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, this is fun, man. So go check out SideWall Pizza Company. Go check out Andy. Go check out that link, smartpizzamarketing.com. I'll put it there again, /birthday. Andy, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it.